All right, we are going to call this meeting to order. We have Vicki and Robert are going to be virtual this evening, and Dana will be a little bit late. The missions, Pledge of Allegiance, flag is over there. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for coming. Today, our mission statement for the Viroqua schools will nurture excellence, unlock potential, and ignite passion. And now we have the treat of Spotlight on Education. We have the middle school popcorn business and the senior teacher. So Mr. Mee, would you please come and present? And
where do I sit?
Right, a little closer to the seat. There you are.
Perfect,
right
right
there.
there.
Camera.
Well, thank you so much for inviting my class to come and talk about the middle school popcorn business. It's not something that I invented, it's something that I revived. It was a tradition in the high school for a very long time. And then for whatever reason, like mix of students, it wasn't the best educational opportunity for them. It kind of went away. And then I revived it about 3 years ago here in the middle school. It's got there's a lot of good reasons to have a popcorn business. It gives that chance to take those academic skills and apply them to real life. For instance, like money and measuring and fractions, when you're dealing with a third of a cup of this or a teaspoon of that. And also like being very precise with your work. Like our popcorn salt, we put in 3/4 of a teaspoon per batch. If we put in a whole teaspoon, it's way too salty. Half a teaspoon isn't salty enough. So we have to be very precise with our work, which is very important. It promotes so much independence from them, especially because they do the job and they do it over and over again, and they just develop a sense of self-confidence with popcorn. I want to introduce who I have with me real quick. This is Jackson, and his main role is to operate.
Would it be okay if they stood up so people could see them?
Yes, Jackson, stand up.
Could you introduce them? Hi. Thank you.
Okay, why don't you say your name?
My name is Jackson.
Nice to meet you.
And what do you normally do with the popcorn business?
I make
He runs it and does the dishes.
That's fabulous. Thank you for coming.
Okay. All right, want to introduce yourself?
Hey, CEO.
Okay. Can you say your name to everybody? My name is.
Byron.
Okay.
Nice to meet you.
And you're the CEO.
CEO.
And if you look at the business cards were passed out, if you ever have a question about the popcorn business, you email Byron and we'll check it a couple of times so we can get back to you.
Wonderful. Thank you for coming.
Byron, sit down. Can you say your name? To them, okay?
Hey, Wes.
Hi.
Oh, you like the extra feed?
You do like. Well, this is Wesley, and you can tell for all the enthusiasm he has, he is great on deliveries. So that's his name.
Thank you for coming, Wesley.
TV, there's a TV. My name, this. No, what's your name? Violet.
And
Thank you for coming, Violet.
Violet is very, very social, and she's also great on deliveries.
And professional taste tester.
Absolutely, yes.
She's a great product tester.
Yep. If we don't have the batch just right, she'll let us know. And we do use the money. We do make, we try to, popcorn's been $1. It still is $1. You'll note if you've been here a long time, you'll see the boxes are a little bit smaller to accommodate inflation. We like that $1 price point, and we do use the money at the end of the year to decide on a field trip. We've been to Jumpstart twice and rented out the lacrosse roller rink one time, and each time has been fabulous. And also get pizza while we're doing that.
And
That's all I have.
any questions for Mr. Mee? So as a board, just thank you all so much for coming. Thanks for the great work that you're all doing. And how do we buy the popcorn?
Well, so we deliver on Thursdays in the middle school and high school. They used to back in the day also deliver to the elementary school, and just that's too big of a production for us. So we deliver there. But if there's someplace you would like the popcorn to be within the school building on a Thursday, we would be happy to leave it there.
They come to the district office, it's our favorite day of the week.
So do you have to order in advance then?
So what we do is we have a list of names and you subscribe, and that way you don't have to worry about having $1 each time. We invoice you once a semester, and we have a list of names, and we write, usually Byron or Wesley, they both will take turns writing the names on the boxes. And then we'll deliver them to, we have a list of where they go also.
So how many popcorn machines do you have for making all of this? One?
One machine, it's a good sized machine. We thought it was gonna break, but luckily Jackson helped us find where a screw was missing. And we were able to get it tightened up, so it's gonna last us a lot longer. One machine, and probably, how many batches do you think we run through the machine each time? 5? That seems about right. 5 batches when they come.
Kim, did you? have a
No, I'm
question?
just gonna share their.
Oh, okay. Well, thank,
Or just like.
yeah,
I just wanted to say, as a parent, this is just so awesome, and I'm so thankful to Mr. Me and Miss Rebecca. They always go above and beyond, so
Always.
it's awesome.
well, thank you. So thank you all for coming. And you preference is. So thank you. And thank you to all the parents also for coming in late at night on a rainy night, so thank you.
You want to stay? Say hi, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Ricky.
Thank you. Come on, Samuel.
Take a bow.
Good job. Thank you.
So it's going to be difficult to follow up. Let me just tell you, so we have 2 seniors here tonight. We have Maddie and Kaylee. If you all could look this way, please.
Yeah.
What are you the CEO of?
If you don't mind introducing yourselves and tell us a little bit about yourselves.
My name is Maddie Fletcher. I've been the secretary of the National Honor Society for 2 years now. I recently joined art club and forensics. I've been involved in girls golf for 4 years now. And this year I was named Cooley Conference Player of the Year for the 3rd year in a row. I placed first in my sectional, and I placed second place at state this year. I'm planning on attending a 4-year college where I will major in art, and I'll play on the golf team.
My name is Kaylee Ackman. I've been a member of the NHS, and I've been in cross country for 7 years and track for 8 years. This year for cross country, I earned honorable mention, and I was named the Cooley Coaches Conference Leadership Award. I'm planning to attend UW River Falls and major in animal science on a pre-veterinary track. And my favorite classes are biology and animal science.
Anyone have any questions?
I just have a couple comments. Maddie, congratulations on your showing at state.
Thank you.
Very, very well. And I understand the girls' cross-country team has a shot at winning sectionals if everyone, depending on the day, so good luck at that this Saturday.
Congratulations, ladies. Nice work. Proud of you.
Thank you. We're very excited for you. Those are huge honors for that. We're proud that you're students in our district and have such high accomplishments.
Thank you.
I'm a horrible golfer, and it's a trait that I really respect. Not that I don't respect speed as well and those talents, but it's a hard game. So anyway, thank you. We wish you only good luck moving forward. And if there's ever anything we can do for you as a board, please let us know.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming tonight. Committee reports. Dana is not here, so I think that Jeremy will be presenting Dr. Hill.
So these are for first reading, and with one reading per legal update. And then I will talk about the others that will then need a second reading in November. So policy 3431 and 4431 is employee leave, and the provisions regarding testifying in legal proceedings have been clarified. A new statute reference has been added stipulating that no employer may discharge an employee because the employee is subpoenaed to testify in an action or proceeding pertaining to a crime pursuant to Wisconsin statute. Policy 5112, entrance age. This policy is updated to reflect the current state of the law, which recognizes the parental right to opt out of immunization and to file a statement regarding this choice in lieu of immunization records. Policy 5310.01, emergency nursing services, is a policy that incorporates the requirement of administrative regulations regarding the development, content, and review of emergency nursing services. Policy 5411, third grade promotion and retention of at-risk students. This policy has been updated to include various parental notification provisions as required by statute. Policy 5464, early graduation, is a policy updated to provide additional options for the evaluation and approval of early graduation requests. It is also updated to specify that a student who graduates early but is still participating in district programming or activities remains subject to the requirements of board policy and other rules. You want to continue these? You want to get your bearing?
Give me a minute.
Okay. Policy 744003, small unmanned aircraft systems or drones. It's a policy where the language has been updated consistent with Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association administrative policies and procedures. Policy 7450, property inventory. Changes to this policy reflect better governmental accounting standards and Education Department general administrative regulations. Policy 7455 is for the accounting for capital assets. The policy adds the appropriate useful life for capital assets based on Governmental Accounting Standards Board, or GASB.
And continuing, we have policy 8420. School safety. This policy has been updated to reflect the crime reporting requirements enacted by the legislature. What do we got here? Policy 8500, policy 8531, 8540, and 8550 relating to food services, vending machines, and such. These policies have been revised based on direct feedback from the Department of Public Instruction and the school nutrition team. Policy 9151, use of cameras and other recording devices in locker rooms. This has been revised. The policy has been revised to include additional language concerning media presence in locker rooms. Prohibition. Oh, pronounce that word for me.
Prohibition, so prohibiting that.
Yes, that's what I was like,
Yep.
that didn't sound right, but it's
Yep.
of recording devices. And then first reading, do I need to go through all?
Yes, please.
Yeah, so
all
what
these?
I explained right before you came in, Dana, is that the first ones are the ones that will be just legal updates. So today's
Correct.
reading will cover them. This next group,
We do
today
have
is
to-
first reading, and then November will be that second.
Gotcha. Bylaw 100 definitions. Several definitions have been updated to make them more current. Bylaw 0144.5, board member behavior, communications, and code of conduct. Clarifying language has been added to several provisions as well as direct reference to conflict of interest. Bylaw 1066.1 is consent agenda. Additional options have been added based on practical usage. Policy 1461, unrequested leaves of absence, fitness for duty. Additional enforcement language has been added. Policy 2522, libraries. This policy revision is intended to assure that challenges to material are brought forward by persons with actual personal knowledge of the content and therefore able to articulate the concerns based on the complaint's own knowledge, rather than using lists generated by internet groups. Policy 3120.4, employment of substitutes. This policy has been revised to outline the available options that may be selected. Policy 3120.08, employment of personnel for co-curricular and extracurricular activities. This policy is updated to include a reference to the issuance of reasonable assurances notification to avoid the possibility of coaches and advisors qualifying for unemployment compensation between school years. Policy 4124, notice of reasonable assurance of employment. This revision clarifies that benefits are not available based on such services performed by the district. Policy 4213, student supervision and welfare. Additional language has been added regarding the expected standard of care for support staff, which is consistent with that of professional staff. 5463, credits from non-public schools. This policy has been updated to offer the option for homeschool and private school students to have transcripts reviewed as part of a placement decision. They can be updated. Updated policy would allow for credits to be added to a transcript as pass-fail. The credits would not calculate into class ranking and GPA. Policy 5505, academic honesty. This policy is updated to specify that the respect to students' use of artificial intelligence tools, students are expected to properly attribute any content. Revisions specify that students involved in third-party administering programs are expected to fully comply with the rules that organization implements or has implemented regarding AI and NLP tools. Policy 5530, student use or possession of intoxicants, drugs, or paraphernalia. Updated to reflect additional items including within the prohibited substances and to include lookalike substances. Policy 7460, conservation of natural and material resources. This policy is updated to provide the board with an outline of energy conservation, evaluation, and implementation policy. Policy 7530.02 is staff and school officials' use of personal communication devices. Archiving records have been clarified. Policy 8120, volunteers. This policy has been updated to reflect the requirement that volunteers driving district-owned vehicles are still obligated to be under contract and meet driver requirements. That concludes.
Thank you, Jeremy and Dana. It's quite a list. The next item is the consent agenda, which includes approval of agenda, proof of public notice, September meeting minutes, check summary 1 in the amount of $380,376.45. We have no retirements or resignations. We have no appointments. 25-26 spring Start College Now early college credit program and online course requests, early graduation requests, and the revised policies per legal updates that Dana mentioned.
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? I'm also including you, Vicky and Robert. Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The next item is check summary 2, and that is in the amount of $683,789.50.
I'll move to approve the check summary 2 in the amount of $683,789.50.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I abstain. Motion carries. Information and discussion, we have the first reading of the revised policies that Dana has just read to us. Is there any discussion, any questions about any of these policies at this time? If there are, please reach out if something comes up. The second reading will be in November, as Jeremy spoke to earlier. Reach out to Dana, and she can then have the policy committee review any of the questions that anyone has. Special board meeting, October 27th. The time at the present time is to be determined, and this will be a budget finance committee meeting and then a special board meeting. It looks like we're trying to make the budget and finance around 4 o'clock and the special board meeting around 4:30, but there will be some more details as time goes on. Conference realignment, Dan is here. Do you mind coming this way and
Sure.
presenting so you can be seen and heard? Thank you for coming tonight as well.
Thank you. We are continuing our intent with exploring what's best to improve the student experience and community around sports in this community. A few years ago, we explored the possibility of potentially switching to a different conference. That conference at the time was not interested in having us, so there really wasn't an option. Since then, Mr. Kress and I have continued the work of determining whether or not there's a place where there's a better fit for our school, predominantly based upon enrollment. Currently, most of our sports are in the Cooley Conference, and the largest school in the Cooley Conference has an enrollment twice of our size. And this leads to some pretty significant disparities of outcome. So we are considering filing our application with the WIAA November 1 with a proposal to leave the Cooley Conference effective the 27-28 school year and join the Southwest Conference, which we think is a better fit because it's predominantly small rural Wisconsin towns with an enrollment currently similar to ours and that are also projected to decline at a rate similar to ours. So just to give you some quick perspective, in the Cooley Conference, the largest school right now is roughly 570 people. We are at about 340. The largest school in the Southwest Conference this year is Lancaster with about 470 students or so. Platteville, I'm sorry. But then after that, it's almost all schools right around 400 or less, in which case we're much closer fit. There's also not any private schools in Southwest, which makes a material difference with regard to competitive advantage. So we have been having lots of discussions within our community, with our coaching community. We had a parent discussion last week. This has been an ongoing conversation. The application process for the WIAA is on every other year for this. And just to be clear, this is for non-football sports. It's for all sports aside from football. The WIAA has a separate application process. So if the plan were approved, it would affect all of our sports other than football as of the 27-28 school year. So we have to make this decision and file the application by November 1. So there's a lot of work, discussion going on whether or not to proceed submitting the application. What's that?
Football, how is that?
Football, that application cycle would be next year, and that would be for the 28-29 school year.
Interesting.
Yep, it's entirely different. They have, the WIA has different, they try to keep football in 8-team conferences, but it's a whole different decision-making matrix, and quite frankly, a lot more complicated. Typically, if you want to leave one conference, you have to find another conference willing to let you in that needs an 8th team, and then there has to be another conference or another team available to fill your spot in the conference you're leaving. This is very different. We're potentially leaving a 7-team conference and making a 6-team conference a 7-team conference. So the effect is negligible with regard to that.
Any other questions? Vicki, Robert?
What schools are in the Southwest now?
Platteville, Lancaster, River Valley, Richland Center, Prairie du Chien. Am I missing anyone? Dodgeville. Yep, thank you.
That's back to my old days.
Yeah, we
Wow,
actually came from the Southwest Conference long ago. Before the Cooley, we were predominantly playing Southwest teams. And yes, the Westby,
Right around late 80s, early 90s.
early 90s, like 93. Yep.
Before then, all the coaching I did was in the other conference.
Yep. So, we're exploring that possibility. We think in a lot of ways it's a better fit for us.
Makes sense.
Right.
Any other questions? Thank you
Yep.
for exploring that.
Great, thank you.
Keep us updated. When will you hear the?
It's really, we don't quite know. The WIAA, my guess is we'll, excuse
It'll be
me,
at their December meeting,
December meeting,
but that would
but
be earlier.
That would be the soonest. So
Do they meet
I don't
monthly?
know. Not for that committee.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah, Angie,
Yes.
who makes the decision about yes or no? WIAA? But the decision to ask for is our administrative.
You're kind of broken up, Robert. I think I have the gist of what you're asking. You're asking who makes the decision if we're going to be in that conference or not? Is that what you're asking?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes, the WIA has a subcommittee specifically devoted to conference realignment, and so it's that committee's decision.
Did that answer your question?
I'm in a bad spot. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Dan. The next topic are donations over $100. We have Chuck and Mary Mulvaney Kemp, $175 for elementary book of the month. We have Schlicht Insurance Agency, $100. Schlicht Insurance, we have M. Schlicht Insurance Agency, $100. Viroqua Dental Center, $150. Royal Bank, $200. Organic Valley, $200 for FFA. Aurelia Depadova, $100 for 8th grade Kalahari field trip. Cedar Meadows Mobile Home Park, $500 for the Viroqua Elementary School and BAM's a donation. Cedar Meadows Mobile Home Park, $300 for 12 backpacks with supplies. As always, we want to thank everyone. That's a total of $1,825. We have an amazingly giving and philanthropic community. We are tremendously fortunate for the support financially that our community gives to our school and many of the extracurricular activities that we are able to hold. So thank you for that. District Administrator Jeremy, would you like to speak to the School Board Appreciation Week and staff meeting updates?
Sure, thank you. So I just wanted to publicly recognize the work of our school board. October 6th through the 11th was National School Board Week, and I appreciate you. I appreciate the conversations that we have outside of our board meetings, and I appreciate the work that you do together collectively as a board, so thank you for that. Last week, I started some conversations with staff in anticipation for what will be hard conversations that we have to have in the spring when we need to balance a budget. And I wanted to just kind of open the floor for our staff to talk through some of the things that they're feeling and have an opportunity to get to know me a little bit. And one of the most important things that I shared with them is even though we're going to be talking about data and numbers when we make decisions, it's so important to remember on the other end of that decision are real people with real lives and livelihoods that need to be taken into consideration, and we need to show that care and return to them in our conversation. So I wanted to set that groundwork with them. So I'll highlight for you some of just maybe the underlying themes that were throughout those conversations. So on Monday, I asked them their thoughts on calendar, and they suggested that we take the time to plan and plot out our in-service days to be the most meaningful that they can be for them. They suggested that we survey families to learn what they think about graduation and whether graduation is Memorial Day weekend. In some years, that's 12 days before the end of the school year. They believe that is a long-standing Viroqua tradition, and if there's any conversation about that families should weigh in, especially families of seniors. They want some feedback on Fair Day and spring break, and knowing that you can't have all of those things and still fit the guidelines and the window as set forth by the state of Wisconsin. They talked about longer days and additional longer weekends, which means potentially less days student contact, and we talked through what it means to be paid by the day and to work a certain number of days. And I was very transparent with them that I felt as though the philosophy of our board was every day that our kids are in school is a day that we know that they are eating breakfast and lunch, and that they are in a warm or cool, whichever end of the season you're in, building. And that we would certainly take into consideration the thoughts and feelings of others when we work through that. They asked if we would qualify for an early start to offset some of those wishes, and DPI gives us some different ways that you can do that. One of them is if you are spending a lot of money to transport private school students, you can start early when those private schools start, so that you're managing your footprint of transportation. But we looked at some of those things. On Tuesday then, we talked about marketing and recruitment, and that thought of surveying parents came up again there. Surveying parents of students not enrolled in Viroqua area schools and what are they seeking in those other schools. Many of them feel as though families are seeking religious-based studies and programs of study for their kiddos. And as a public school, we know that that's not something that we can wade into. But nevertheless, that is a reality for some of our families. They also thought that it would be interesting to learn from the homeschool networks and families that are homeschooling their kids as to what Viroqua area schools can potentially offer to market and recruit those families. They suggested that we build outdoor spaces in the Viroqua area schools, like using the courtyard here or the woods, a wooded area near the middle school playground, or doing some things that would create those outdoor learning spaces that maybe some families are looking for when they look at Kickapoo Forest or some of the forest schools. I asked them, what are we not sharing or shouting about our school district? And they talked through some of those pieces. They asked if maybe we could expand our charter school. Laurel is a high school offering. Is there a potential of expanding those offerings down into middle school and giving families who come out of Montessori, or even that are transitioning out of Pleasant Ridge, the opportunity to explore what it's like to be a student in high school at Laurel. In marketing, they suggested that we create a digital marketing class to use student talents to assist with photos and videos of student activities, social media posts, and promotional videos. I know if I'm struggling with social media and I hand my phone to my kids, they certainly make me look way better on social media than I do myself. So I appreciate that. And one of the suggestions that they made is that we create a community link where people can ask us questions about our programs and our offerings that would directly feed that question to me to craft a response. There was a suggestion that we create an alumni association and that we capitalize on those ideas and those stories to market to the families that are moving to our community. They suggested that we find ways to market and showcase our facilities to encourage membership among families. People move to Viroqua for a way of life that maybe when they're bringing their children, they don't know that we offer some of the things that we do. Then on Wednesday, I asked them what is important in balancing a budget, and they shared that they would like us to consider a long-range professional development plan that showcases the best of what we already do. Instead of spending money to bring people in, they would prefer, if we're going to spend that money, that we do it to incentivize our current staff to share their best practices. They wanted to remind me that when we do that we should look at all parts and all services that we deliver: transportation, food service, maintenance, all of those pieces. They asked that when considering staffing that I examine all levels from paraprofessionals through administrators, that I don't just lead us to target one group of our staff, that we look at the whole group of staff holistically, and that we evaluate our athletic and activity offerings. We offer a ton of things, but are we offering the right options to recruit and retain students? And what are our biggest impact activities? And that we should survey students and families to ask those questions as well. I met with again today over at the elementary school, and had another probably 40 staff members in the room from all of the buildings to just kind of go back through that series of questions again with them. And one of the things that comes from that I'm super proud of them, and I've told you guys from the beginning that I believe in building the leadership capacity of everybody, not just the phenomenal crew sitting behind me, but our teachers and staff, our paraprofessionals, our professional staff as well. And I want to continue to do that. So I think we'll probably put together some committees, some to look at calendars and options for the administrative team to review and think through. A professional development team that looks at the broad picture of what we do, not just the next professional development that's in front of us, but the whole group of them over the next several years. And a multi-tiered system of support team that looks at the way that we deliver services at all of our buildings. We currently do that in pockets, but I think that there's an opportunity for us to streamline that work pre-K-12 at the district level and empower those voices to be heard. It was a great set of meetings. The group that I have not had a chance to meet with yet is coaches. For some reason, they're busy at 3:30 every day. And so Dan and I are going to work together to find an opportunity in the evening for those voices to be heard as well. And then we'll start through with parents and set up some community forums for parents and students as well.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any questions? That's good work. Thank you. Administrative reports, fall activities and parent-teacher conferences. Jason, do you mind going first here?
I know.
Thank you.
But Dan didn't steal all my thunder. He can definitely chime in on sports things if he wants to. We did have our first quarter parent teacher conference about a week and a half ago. Maybe it was a little bit more than that. We purposely did not have it during homecoming week, just with how busy homecoming week was. So we bumped it up a little earlier than we normally did, and had it the Thursday before. That led into homecoming week, which is always a great time, and obviously a lot of activities going on, different things. We did have the juniors won the week this year, to the chagrin of the seniors. The Rue Ball game, the annual Rue Ball game was won by the staff. Kim was there and can attest that it came down to literally the last point. And staff pulled it out with, I think that they group, I think it was second overall. So that was great. It's one of those things that's always a hectic week. It's a busy week, but it does make those positive memories that kids remember for 20, 30, 40 years or whatever. We had PSAT testing recently. PSAT testing is, it's not as big as it used to be. The main reason especially there's so many different types of testing, a lot of times it would have been a good practice test for kids. But with pre-ACT and different things like that, in almost every college, if they are requiring a test, most are accepting ACT now. So PSAT, probably the main purpose for it, honestly, is for those really upper echelon kids if they want to qualify for the National Merit Scholarship. PSAT is the route to do that. Fall activities, the coaches soon will become more available. We've had a busy fall. You mentioned Maddie. Part of the reason we brought Maddie tonight was a huge honor getting second in state, 3-time conference player of the year. And she's a student who actually, she was not the kid who at like the age of 4 picked up a golf club. But obviously she dedicated herself to the trade. Girls volleyball team Thursday night will host a second round playoff game. The girls got the #1 seed in the regional. I think it's regional. I always get regional and sectional confused. Got #1 seed in the regional, so they got a first round bye. So they do not have to play tomorrow night. But they went Thursday night. They also then would host another game Saturday for the regional championship. So it's great. Probably one of the better records we've had in volleyball in a while. So, and Kaylee mentioned, and the interesting thing with Kaylee and with cross country, so both cross country teams took third at the conference championship. If you're wondering, yes, West Salem took first in both. But between our two teams, so there would be, conference-wise, there are 42 all-conference honors given out. Viroqua came home with 7 of those, all-conference honors. And they will be running this Friday in Assumption. And there's not only, it's exciting, as we mentioned, there's a chance that we could move on to state even this Friday. The exciting thing is, so there'll be 14 runners that run Friday. Kaylee is the only senior that is running out of the 14. Both teams have 7 runners. The boys team has 5 freshman runners out of the 7 on the team. So obviously, if they keep putting in the hard work and everything, the program's definitely looking up. And just thanks to all the coaches, obviously they put in endless hours. Ms. Williams and the class advisors and everybody for homecoming week. The fall is rather busy. So Dan is probably just taking a breath and using that breath to work on an application. But it's one of those nonstop things. We just kind of keep moving on, and before we know it, it's like a month, maybe a little bit over a month, and winter sports already start. So, any questions?
Thank you. Good stuff. Thank you. Pat, would you like to be next?
So we'll talk a little about our PBIS at the elementary building. It's fall activities. PBIS, for most of you, isn't anything new, but it's our positive behavioral interventions and support. It's the behavior side compared to the academic side of our multi-tiered systems of support. That obviously, when we look at it, those systems can always be improved. I'm not the system, but we have to build that system. The biggest part of this is that we want kids to be respectful, responsible, safe, and kind, but we have to teach kids how to do that. So a lot of it is teaching, modeling that for teachers, model that for students, teaching, modeling, practicing, and then reteaching. Kids, when you say, are you being safe? They know. No, maybe not. How could you be safe? They know it, but in the moment, that's sometimes a struggle. And the biggest thing is then to reteach in the moment or rehearse. How could you do this different next time? For the majority of our students, they get that. Just like academics, if a student is struggling to read, we don't punish them. We reteach and continue to teach them and model and practice. Same thing with behavior, where most kids will get it. There is a small percentage that really struggle. We need extra supports, and that we look at. That's why we keep data. That's why we have interventions, just like academic interventions, to help those students. Then an even smaller percentage that really need a lot more supports. So that's where our student services team works with staff to develop that. And the biggest assumption is that we believe all children can exhibit appropriate behaviors, but they may not be able to yet. And that's where it's our job to help teach that and model it. So it's our PBIS. Into some celebrations. Homecoming was, like Jason said, it can be a hectic week, but it's a lot of fun. And those are the things the moments that students remember, the dress-up days that we have at the elementary building. We had an awesome pep rally on the Friday that included, we had our new music teacher had
Can't get there from here.
Oops. Sorry about that, guys.
our new music teacher, Maggie that had fourth graders singing the national anthem and the school song, which was very well received by staff and students. We had high school athletes come over, which was really cool. Student relay race, brew ball that Kim helped me with. Kim is better than Google. You can't Google brew ball and get the correct spelling. Kim's got it. Fourth, which teachers versus fourth grade teachers won. I don't know if it was good, bad, whatever, but the whole section started to cheer for the teachers in unison, which was really cool. I don't know if fourth graders appreciated it. The staff thought it was pretty cool. That was very cool. And we have our parent-teacher conferences at the elementary building closer to the end of the quarter. So Thursday, November 6th and Tuesday, November 11th. Our VAMs, P2 and adolescent that are at the middle school, followed up middle school. Parent-teacher calendar, which was last Thursday and tomorrow night. A lot happening to start the year, but a lot of good stuff going on at the elementary building. Questions on all of that?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Pat. Jeremy, are you speaking to middle school?
Yes, and as Pat just said, middle school had conferences last Thursday. Dr. Weezy and I split that so that there was an administrator here while Mr. C was on vacation, and then they have again tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next, we have board reports. We have VAMS update. Jim?
Yep, the VAMS is going to be hopefully doing a fundraiser. There'll be information coming, the parent group is, so that they can raise monies for the teachers to be able to do a variety of activities. The website's coming along. Probably the thing that fits most into even all the stuff that Jeremy talked about is they want to start working on an outdoor learning space because that's important to the curriculum in VAMS, and I think it fits in with district-wide initiatives. So they're going to be working with Pat and their administrators on how they can help move that forward. So that would be great.
Thank you. Laurel High School, Sarah?
I went to their annual meeting in the park, and their goal was to get 2 more governance council members. There were no volunteers, so there was no election for that, but they're still within guidelines, bylaws, to move forward with the amount of people that they have, but they're leaving it open to volunteers should they want to join that governance council.
Was it a nice day?
It was a really nice day, and it was so fun to see how excited they are about Laurel School and all their concerns.
Great. It's a wonderful program. Thank you. Thanks for attending. The WASB State Convention is January 21 through 23. If your plans have changed in any capacity, please notify Beth ASAP. We have WASB and legislative update. I did speak on the radio last week with a couple of our legislators in Madison, just talking about the budget that the state passed and some of the schools who received a lot less funding than they had anticipated. Some millions of dollars, some thousands of dollars, some hundreds of dollars. Our school district was about a little over 8,000 less than we had anticipated from the budget and the changes that they made. And then I also spoke about the voucher program and our school district spending or writing a check to the DPI for almost $1.2 million this year, which is significantly higher than last year, which is significantly higher than the year prior to that. I have been asked to speak with some media perhaps this week and be on the radio, but I don't know if that's going to work out or not. Just trying to get information out to our legislators and to the public about the voucher program and how that financially affects public education. We also have a meeting on October 22nd. We have a workshop at 5:30 that will be in this room. And then our October 25th meeting October 25th is at 11 a.m. Ken Deaver Wall of Excellence induction. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback about Ted Harris and his induction, and the family was so excited and proud of Ted being inducted into the Wall of Excellence. October 27th, once again, we have the Budget and Finance Committee meeting, a special board meeting. Hi, Robert. And then, I think that's it. On November 17th, we have our 7 o'clock, regular board meeting, and November 19th, we have a 4 o'clock workshop. Other than that, do you have anything to add, Robert?
It's a long ways. But I came to see you all.
There you go.
Oh, you're not impressed, I'm sorry.
So with that, we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
To beat you too.